Here's a new story that talked about some new research that we were interested in. What are the benefits of multivitamins? New research suggests they may slow aging. That's certainly an attention-grabbing headline, slowing aging. So let's see what they say. The study examined whether a daily multivitamin could influence biological aging in older adults. Let's see what they found. It's slowed biological aging. Some people had up to 18 times greater effect. It showed that it slowed cognitive aging. All of these points are certainly enough to capture my attention, but I noticed that the summary here is pretty short. It's kind of reduced to just a few bullet points or sentences. I'm curious to know if there's more to the research than what they had time to summarize here. I want to know if the original research had any additional points that may affect my understanding of what they found. So to do that, we need to find the original research that this story is summarizing. And this is what the research article itself looks like. You can tell from the title and from the abstract that it's a pretty technical article. It's a medical article designed for medical experts, and that's not me. We're going to use some AI tools to help us focus in on the areas that might fill out our understanding of what this research said. Now, I noticed too that this research was published in a well-respected medical journal, Nature Medicine. I know that's a very credible journal. I am not trying to poke holes in the research. I'm not saying that this research is bad. What I want to do is find out if there were any additional limitations or more details about how effective these multivitamins were that did not get reported in that summary. We're going to use AI tools to help us do that. I'm going to go over here to my AI. I'm using Gemini. You are welcome to use whatever AI tool you want. We're going to do this in 2 prompts. The first prompt is to ask AI to look at the article in question. We want to direct it to this particular research article. I'm going to copy this URL and that. We just need to prime the pump, so to speak. We need to make sure that Gemini is looking at the article to shape the trajectory of this conversation. When it comes up, make sure that it actually finds the right article. Okay. Sometimes I have done this and it pulls up the wrong article, or it says it's behind a paywall, I can't see it. And I said, no, look again, it is available, and make sure that it's got the right title. So this is the right one. We know we're looking at the right thing. Now here comes the second prompt. We want to make sure that this is looking at evidence and limitations in the article. So here's a way that I might word this question. Based on this article, evaluate the claim that multivitamins slow aging in adults. This is the claim that that news summary made. Research suggests multivitamins may slow aging. And that's what I want to know. I want to know how well this article supports that assertion. But here's the next thing that we need to do. We want to ask an evidence-based prompt. So I might say something like this. Okay, so the key thing here, we ask it to evaluate the claim, but then we also want to see evidence and rebuttals. I want to see the things that support it and anything that might be a caveat to that, and then tell me how strong that evidence is. use plain language. That is optional, but I find it very helpful, particularly in an article like this that's using a lot of expert jargon. So let's see what kind of evidence and rebuttals it comes up with. Based on the trial results, the claim that multivitamins slow aging in adults is partially supported, but with a massive asterisk, a caveat. This is exactly what I want to know. The summary seemed to paint it in glowing terms, but I want to have a more complete picture. And they say, for one thing, the actual change in everyday health is incredibly small. It's not the impression that I got from that summary, but let's see some more about why AI thinks this. It says that people who took the multivitamin only showed microscopic improvement over 2 years. The physical impact was practically unnoticeable. It points out that people in the study were older adults and that we can't apply those findings to everyone else. These are things that help me complete the picture of what this research actually says. The new summary picked certain points out that they thought would be the main things to know, but there's a lot more in the research that maybe I need to know to understand fully what it does. And we were able to do this with just 2 quick prompts in AI. The first thing is we want to ask AI to look at the article, to orient the conversation. And then in the second prompt, we say, evaluate the claim and show me both evidence and rebuttals. This doesn't mean that the research was bad. It is simply pointing out limitations that the article itself mentioned, but maybe that did not make it into the summary. And then after I see these things, if that makes a difference to me, I can go back and look for the section that talks about this. In other words, AI is pointing out to me the areas that I might want to ask more questions about and to probe a little bit deeper to really understand what this research says.